Yo, you know who you rocking with? You know it's cool. It ain't the top of the morning no more, but it's still morning. So good morning. I was sitting back, man, doing some research on rent and where it came from, how it started, you know, what it's all about, some of the hidden rules they got into it, and you know, just stuff that I kind of thought was interesting. Um, Another thing that kind of led me more into looking at the rent thing is if you follow my channel, you know I plan this year to start a full-time RV living. Um uh to do something different in life, and then also try to dodge and escape that this economy and the situation that it's in the renting situation, like I said in a previous video, I got a little cousin. Um, he went out to get an apartment, and it was gonna cost him roughly like $4,500 to move in. Close to 5,000. So, me and him, we talked about it, and I kind of explained him my idea, and you know, explained to him how his money can have more value going in a different route. So, like I said, I looked into rent, and I'm thinking about, this year full-time RV living. So some of the things I came up with, some of the things I figured out and read on was rent was established by David Ricardo in 1809, and they back then they kind of seen like how rent would be good for the land because you know they can you know put a political economy type structure together, and they can make it to where it's taxable. You know what I'm saying? And they can make money off of it. They meaning the government, the state, the country, or whatever. It was a way to generate money, how they seen it back then, to help out their communities, their cities, their towns, whatever. But it was basically built on the idea that it can help give the economy some structure. You know what I'm saying? So, I didn't live back then. I don't know how the structure was. I don't know what was what. But if we fast forward to today, we kind of see that the idea wasn't bad. Now, they say, from the percentage, 65.8% of people own houses in America, and only 34.2% rent. So I don't know about that. That sounds, crazy, but it might be true. You know what I'm saying? It might be true. If they just saying rent, I guess they counting mortgages as people actually trying to own their home. But a mortgage is still considered rent because, it's a payment that you got to make every month. And if you don't pay it, you lose out on what you invested in. All right. It was just saying different things, you know what I'm saying? Like how rent is bad because from year to year it can grow. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no equity bill on your money, and that's the whole main like thing with me why I got into looking this shit up, because in certain cases I knew people that rented the same spot for 10 to 15 years, and all of a sudden one day they gotta move, and all of that money, time, effort they done put into that house, they see nothing on that return. You know what I'm saying? That's just heartbreak. You know what I mean? Like, they don't get nothing out of that. They just gotta move. You know what I'm saying? So, you don't get no equity build on your money. That's why it makes no sense to rent whatsoever, because you don't see that money. Now, if you don't got nowhere to stay, you sleeping outside or whatever. Like, a lot of people rent for different reasons, different, cases, which is understandable. But if you young and you just now getting out of school, you finna move on and be on be on your own and shit for your first time, like, you should really weigh your options. And rent is really not a good investment. Like, it's not a good way to go, because you're not gonna see nothing on your money. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have the ideal of RV living and, doing, things of that nature. And a lot of people rent with a roommate, you know what I mean, that actually got a plan to save or know how to save, so it benefits them. I'm not knocking you, but you're not gonna really see no equity on your money, especially, like, and they said on if you look online, like, a lot of people recommend, banks recommend, like, big people, like, I guess just good, smart people with their money recommend, if you know you're gonna be staying somewhere for 5 to 7 years, and you got a good job that could help you maintain this household, renting would be like a very poor decision for you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna rent this place for 5 to 7 years. You got the good job, you got the money to buy, or to come like into some type of plan to buy, but you don't ever buy, you just rent. You know what I mean? And you lose your money. So, it's even right there on the internet. Like, so if you're young, you should think about the best way to maximize your dollar. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should think about the best way to maximize it. And that might mean different things for different people, but you should think about a way to maximize your money and make your money make sense and last for as long as it can, at least, while you living, or while you trying to survive and grow up, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, David Ricardo in 1809 put together this ideal of rent to, make the economy political in a sense, and be able to, record everything and make it taxable. For the, like I say, the city, the state, the county, the whatever, the country, however. But that's how, they came up with this, with this rent thing. Now, they have abused rent over the years when you look at, how they build apartment complexes and, 2-3 story buildings and stuff like that. And I would say they abused it because it's like it's a rule that it's like, I think it's the 5% rule. You supposed to as a renter or somebody that's coming in to rent the property, you supposed to take 5 and divide it, or take 12 and divide it by the price of the property. And that should be how much money you pay a month to live there. You know what I mean? That's supposed to be how they come up with the total of what you supposed to pay, because, that property that you're living on it's already basically valued. Nobody lives nowhere where, there's no water or, it's not civilized land. So the property's already valued at a certain price. Now, you supposed to divide 12 by that price to get your monthly payment, which I never knew that until I read it. And then, I don't really think, a lot of landlords go by that principle. And then, like I was saying, you got all these apartment complexes, and how they get you is like, if that's true, if that 5% rule is true, and they do try to honor it a little bit and bend corners, like, I'm basically splitting this property value with these hundreds of other families that's in these apartment complexes. And all us paying, $800, $900, $1,000 a month, if not more. Like, So how much is this goddamn property? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a renter, you got the right to know that because you're renting, and, you know, your price is based on the price, the value price of the property. So, you know, I mean, it's a lot more to it than just going out, signing the lease, getting approved, and, you know, moving your shit in with the U-Haul and getting your water and lights on. Like, you know, it's a lot that goes from a citizen, you know, standpoint, you know, human rights standpoint, and a business standpoint that goes with renting and things of that nature. And they say a lot of people feel comfortable renting because they don't have to take care of, you know, a lot of the, you know, things that come along with the house if something was to go wrong. But in a lot of cases, you don't have time to wait on the landlord if your, you know, stove go out, or if something, you know, something happen, like, you know, especially if you're renting a house, like, you basically just gonna go take care of it because, you know, you need your house to function. If you're in an apartment complex, then, you know, you might wait because, you know, it's just set up that way. They got maintenance people, and yeah, they, you know, supposed to work 5 days a week, whatever. But, you know, they say a lot of people take that route because they don't want to put their money, or, you know, they don't want to have the extra expenses. You know what I'm saying? But I'd rather have the extra expenses, buy what I know I'm gonna need for my house if I'm, you know, was a homeowner, and, you know, the hell with it, instead of just keep paying you rent, because you might keep getting me a used appliance that's gonna go out in the next 6 months, 7 months, a year. So, you know, it's a lot of pros and cons to everything, but one thing remains the same: the equity on your money won't change. You know what I'm saying? If you do the right thing with your money to put it in the right, you know, place, and you know, let it grow for you, then, you know, it makes sense. But if you, you know, just waste it with rent, you ain't gonna have no equity, and you just, you know, it's you know, it's down the drain. Like I said in the other video, you know, put it over there on the side of the road for somebody else to pick it up. You know what I mean? So, you know, this is just some of the things I was looking at with rent. In my personal opinion, rent is, you know, it's not what you should be trying to jump straight into if you 18, 19 years old. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Even 17, you know, like, not trying to jump into a rent situation if you can stand it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, whatever might work for you, gonna work for you, you know. You'll have to figure it out, you know, your living situation or whatever. But, you know, I'm 33 years old, and I know now that, you know, a lot of money could be wasted in rent that you'll never get back. And you probably could have owned, you know, in my case, I want an RV. I probably could have owned 2 by now, you know. So, you know, I mean, you just got to think what's the best thing for you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I don't want to pay nobody rent, and I don't, you know, I don't want to pay money on something I'm not going to own. I ain't going to say, I just don't want to pay for nothing that I'm just only here for, you know, 30 days at a time. You know, I'd rather put my money into something that's going to, you know, have equity, basically. You know what I mean? But, you know, y'all rocking with Coon, man. I just had to look over a couple things with rent. You know what I mean? Just know if you choose to rent, it can grow every year. You're not gonna gain equity on your money, and you know, unless in your mind you know you're gonna rent forever, like, you know, you're still eventually gonna have to buy a house. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you're just gonna be wasted all that money you could have put into your house or your land, your property, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, I don't see no way that rent is good. It's not good. Like, you know what I mean? It was even built on, you know, principles of, like, basically, you know, controlling everybody so they're not, like, you know, just, on free land, or just, running wild, living everywhere, taking over land. And then again, it was built on taxation. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know taxes is just, people just robbing you, taking your money just because, like, they feel like they can. You know what I'm saying? We're going to charge you to live in America, basically. And we're going to charge you for using the, the bills, the Federal Reserve notes and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just a lot you should look into if you're going to decide to rent. Me, myself, personally, I just think it's a waste of money. But you live and you learn. Everybody, do their own thing, you know what I'm saying? But look into it yourself, man. I looked it up on Google. Look into it yourself, man. Rent is like it's a man-made scheme, you know what I'm saying? And people been following it, way before 1809, way before David Ricardo did something. They even had some back in the Bible where I think it was Paul or Peter had rented something for 2 years, you know what I mean? It's on Google, man. Check it out. You know what I mean? Way, way, way back then. So, you know what I mean? I don't, they probably, I don't know how that go, but yeah, man, rent builds no equity. You don't own nothing. You're not really making a push to own anything. You just got somewhere to stay for 30 days. Buying a house is, it's hard, it's challenging or whatever, whatnot. But, you'll be escaping rent. And, it was something else they said about, people that rent or the reason for renting was like financial something, like, basically saying you ain't got no money. You know what I mean? That's basically what it was. And all, yeah, you like, hey, listen, you rent, okay, well, we know you ain't, if you renting, you ain't in no position to buy shit. You know what I mean? And that's, when you go to places like this, realtors and when you talk their language, that's basically what they're gonna tell you. Oh, you want to rent? Oh, okay, well, you ain't really got no money. If you were to walk in that bed with 200,000 trying to get a house, what's up? I got 200,000 bank. Hey, okay, well, you the man. But and that's just little things you got to pick up on. And I felt like I should talk about this because younger people, they don't really care. They just want to have somewhere to stay or make their little money, pay their rent or whatever. But because they see everybody else doing it. But you got to think for yourself, think outside the box. Picture yourself if you 18, 20, even in your 30s right now. Picture yourself being 60, 70 years old. You want to set yourself up now for then. You know what I mean? And that's all that life about. Set yourself up now for then. Even if you don't live to see that long, live like you plan to see that long. Because, if you do, you'll be prepared. You know what I mean? So, y'all check it out, man. If you're going to rent, you ain't going to build no equity on your money. Your rent can grow from year to year. And, that's all you really got to know. You ain't going to build no equity on your money. If you don't know what equity means, look it up. You ain't going to build no equity on your money, and your rent can grow from year to year. With them two things said, anybody in their right mind shouldn't want to be a part of that shit. Because what you going to do, what you going to pay is going to be for nothing. What you going to pay, you ain't going to get it back. It's dead, it's over with. And, that's the end of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't ever get your money back. You don't ever see none on your money back. Now, your deposit, okay, whatever. You get them 1,000, whatever. But, I mean, if you complete your lease and you work, you know what I'm saying, for your year, you always on time, they should at least give you half of your goddamn money back. They should at least give you half of your money back. That should be in a contract. You know, just for being an American citizen. Just for doing the right thing. You feel me? Like, you know, yeah, fuck that. Just for doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, they should have some type of law in place for that. But it's cool. You rocking with me, or you ain't rocking with me. But I mean, what is rent, man? What, you know? No equity. No equity built on your money. And your rent can grow from year to year. That's all I need to be said about that, man. Wow.